Anyone at any time on any spin. You could be the next to win. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in South Dakota. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are Fox Sports!
And here's what you need to know.
Indianapolis Colts General Manager Chris Ballard said today there will be an open competition at quarterback next season that includes Anthony Richardson, who had been their season opening starter the first 2 years of his career. Chiefs GM Brett Veach says he believes tight end Travis Kelce will be back for the 2025 season, while Ravens GM Eric DeCosta, speaking at the NFL Combine, said they take the sexual misconduct allegations against kicker Justin Tucker very seriously, but will wait to make a decision on his future as the NFL continues to investigate the matter. Browns GM Andrew Berry reiterated the team isn't interested in trading defensive end Myles Garrett, while the Commanders are allowing defensive lineman Jonathan Allen to seek a trade elsewhere. The Bills signed wide receiver Khalil Shakir to a 4-year extension, while in college football, conference commissioners and the college football playoff met today in Dallas. No final decision on a future format. WNBA star Diana Taurasi officially retiring today.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. It is Tuesday on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Back and ready on Fox Sports Radio, the Nate Brown Show live. Welcome in across the state. Hope you've had a great day. Let's get popping tonight. Thought-provoking sports talk. South Dakota regional, national coverage tonight on the Nate Brown Show. We are live on Fox Sports Radio. Reminder, you can follow us and watch the show live on X right now. Welcome in to the studio on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show, watch us live. Say hi to everybody on the digital side, also on YouTube right now, The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. You've got this show live and archived right there. You can catch all of the past shows, The Nate Brown Show. Our YouTube channel, Tuesday edition of the show looks great. I love the guest lineup. We'll get going. Some questions of the day. Thoughts, deep thoughts today on the Nate Brown Show. You know that. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Let's look at the Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight. Brought to you by Forever Lawn of South Dakota, featuring the best lineup of artificial grass in the state, and they service both sides of the state. So wherever you're listening today, Forever Lawn is the team. I saw their headquarters, saw all the different types of artificial grass. It's really unbelievable stuff. So check it out for yourself. Get on their list. Put it in at your house. Put it in at your turf field. Maybe you want some golf greens, some canine grass, landscape grass. It's all from Forever Lawn. Remember the name, Forever Lawn, South Dakota. Just Google them and get started. Take a look. Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight. Dom Izzo drops in. Hot Mike host from Fargo, voice of the Bison, North Dakota State. We'll talk some Summit League, some high school sports. North Dakota just changed how they did high school basketball this season. So they had a huge change. You know how we talk about changes in high school sports in South Dakota, and some people push back. North Dakota had a big change, a big shift in high school basketball this year. I'm going to talk to Dom. He covers high school sports up there in North Dakota, voice of the Bison. Dom Izzo is going to get us started. Hang on. Frank Schwab's on tonight. National NFL writer talking combine and more. YahooSports.com. Frank Schwab in. Jerry Brewer, sports columnist, WashingtonPost.com, one of the best national sports writers in the country. He's on tonight. So Jerry Brewer, Frank Schwab, Dom Izzo, let's get popping on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Let's get you on. 605-720-1067 is our number. Be a part of the show there. Invite you in. 605-720-1067. You've got us there. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline is your number there. Also, the Barron's Wilson text line ready to go. Text the show today. If you can't call, you can text 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson listener text line today. All right. So yesterday, I didn't plan on going on this quest too much, but we're gonna revisit this, and then I thought, let's bring it back to South Dakota. Let's see what the great people of South Dakota, filled with common sense. We're smart here. We think about things. We don't just rush to judgment. What are we gonna do if this happened in South Dakota? So let's bring up this topic. This was kind of a debate yesterday that came out because the Green Bay Packers yesterday are the team that are submitting the proposal to ban the tush push. I never thought we'd be talking about tushes so much on this program. So Green Bay Packers want to ban the tush push. Now, why is that? Are they just tired of the Eagles doing it? The Eagles coach, Nick Sirianni, today said it's unfair. It would be unfair to the Eagles to ban that play. So we've tried to go through the history of this where you're not supposed to be able to assist the runner. That was 20 years ago in the NFL. You couldn't assist the running back and push through piles. You couldn't assist Jalen Hurts and push through to the first down. You got to make a football play. You're on your own. You can't have three guys pushing you from behind. So the Packers say, we're tired of it. It's over. They don't want to do it. So they submit, let's ban it. Okay, Bills coach Sean McDermott just commented. He says he doesn't like it. McDermott's a defensive guy, right? Former D coordinator. Sean McDermott says he doesn't like it. It's just a tough play because there could be potential for injuries there. He said he just doesn't like that side of it either. So I'm going to bring this back into South Dakota because on this show yesterday, I think my audience was nearly split. And we've done a question of the day on this, but not this version. Okay, so people have been nearly split. Ban the tush push, don't ban the tush push. And people are, I don't know why this is such a split deal here. A lot of people see it as, well, the Eagles are just smarter than everybody. They're just better than everybody, and they do it better, so let's not just ban it. I always come from the side, it is assisting the runner unfairly. That's what I mean by this. They get to control the snap count. They get to control the momentum. There is no way the defense can really have an edge here on the tush-push play. So I come at it from that side of it. It's not a good, we're just better than you play. It's we have a better situation to control this play, and it's an offensive advantage in a huge way. So I'm again, last year I would vote to ban it. This year I would vote to ban it. Lucky for you, I don't have a vote. But we always ask you, and you guys have been split on this when it comes to the NFL. So let me just ask you, let's bring this back here. So many of you have played South Dakota high school football. Maybe you've got kids that have played it or are playing it now. Let's bring this back to the state. We cover high school sports across South Dakota. I've been doing it over 20 years. Do we ever see the tush push in South Dakota high school football? I mean, you guys tell me. You go and watch these games Friday night. Do we see the tush push in South Dakota high school football? The answer is you don't. And you say, well, they just don't know how to do it. No, they don't do it. They can't do it in South Dakota high school football. Now, keep in mind, somebody's listening to this right now thinking, maybe we'll draw up the tush push. Maybe we'll see if we can get away with the tush push. The reasoning is the assisting the runner rule is still in play in South Dakota high school football. So you cannot assist the runner in South Dakota high school football. And this goes to my argument today. This is the type of play that is. It is assisting the runner unfairly with momentum, with other guys behind him. And so that's why you ban it from the NFL. That's why South Dakota common sense, we've banned this thing. This is over. It's not a factor in South Dakota high school football, and it's not just because, well, nobody does it. You can't do it. So you can't push runners forward in South Dakota high school football. That's the rule. That's the rule. No assisting the runner in South Dakota high school football. So let me ask you this question of the day. I'm going to throw it out there. What if we allowed, let's vote. Let's vote tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state. Would you be good with South Dakota high school football doing the tush push? If you like it in the NFL and teams that do it have an advantage, the Eagles are just better than everybody, and that's just the way it is. You've got to learn how to stop it. People always say that. Just stop it. You can't stop it. That's the thing. The defense tries jumping over the top, tries timing the snap, then they get penalized because they keep jumping the snap like Washington did in the playoffs. They almost got penalized with an automatic score because they wanted to time the snap. So you tell me if it's an unfair advantage. But I'm going to ask you that question of the day tonight. South Dakota high school football, would you be good with the tush push being implemented? Okay? That's what I want to know. Listener text coming in. Let's see. South Dakota high school football tidbit. Eric Struck is leaving Lincoln to be the head coach at Jefferson. Yes, thank you for that text, by the way. What about Coach Struck? Is he going to do the tush push at Jefferson now? Hang on a second. Be careful. Would you be good with South Dakota high school football teams doing the tush push on a regular basis? That's my question of the day on the Nate Brown Show. A little South Dakota spin on the debate of the week. Packers trying to ban the tush push in the NFL. I've got my audience is split on this, on the NFL doing it, but I wanted to put it on the South Dakota high school football side. Is it really that much different? I mean, are the concerns the same? They are to me. It's an unfair advantage for the offense. You get some big boys behind a quarterback in South Dakota high school football. You think Sioux Falls controls the trenches now. You wouldn't be able to stop some of these teams. You would not be able to stop some of these teams on short yardage plays. I had a guest on. He told me, let's think about this. If you get really, really good at it, you could just get 3 yards almost every play and darn near turn it into a first down automatic thing. Could you get 3 yards every play? I'm not so sure about that. But nonetheless, in South Dakota high school football, you probably could with how some of the mismatches are up front. So the concern I thought was interesting was the Bills coach Sean McDermott today. He said it's an injury play. That's what he's really looking at from this side. He goes, this is a bad injury waiting to happen for the D lineman, even the O lineman. You know, getting low, smashing heads, the whole thing. So he said it's just an injury play, and that's why you shouldn't have it. It's going to be, and then he said, now I don't have all the numbers on the injuries here, but he says he thinks it's a high prone play for injuries. So you wouldn't want to implement that in high school football. See, and so the arguments to me, even though one's the NFL, one's South Dakota high school football, what I do like usually is consistency in a game. I usually like consistency across the game. I like the shot clock in high school hoops here. That's the real rule. It's not we can just sit on the ball and stall it out and the whole thing. the real high-level basketball play, they have shot clocks. We have a shot clock. That's the right call. So what I'm telling you is South Dakota has this right. No tush-push. You can assist the runner. And that's assisting the runner, all right? No tush-push, but what do you say? Let's go to the poll here. I want to see 605-720-1067, 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line, vote in our question of the day. We've got votes coming in asking you if you'd be good with South Dakota high school football adjusting to allow the tush push on a regular basis. Would you allow the tush push on a regular basis? Let's see. 53% of you say no, it is assisting the runner. No, it's assisting the runner. 53% of you. So isn't that interesting? 47% want to give it a try in South Dakota high school football. 47% of you want to give it a try. Let's see. Listener text. No, you can't do this. It would ruin the game. Yeah. See, I just have a feeling it's like it's one of those things. We get our minds made up on something. And I know I'm as guilty as you. I got to have a take. You got to have a take and don't suck, right? So I got to do that too. But I'm telling you, there's not a lot of wiggle room here. A lot of people are saying, no, end of story, you can't do it. Even in the NFL, but South Dakota high school football, we don't allow it. That's the right call. But 47% of you say yes, allow it in South Dakota high school football. I'm surprised. And I'm trying to get the real feeling of why we would think that's a good play. Why do we think that's a good play? Listener text, of course the tush push is an unfair advantage. You have to undercut the legs of the defense. The offense freaks out if they undercut the legs of the offense on the victory formation. Yeah. So what are you telling me? You're against it? All right. Should we have it in South Dakota high school football? More listener text. No. Another no. Listener text. Let's do it. I knew it. Let's have high school players score off of a blocked field goal. Just take it easy. One thing at a time. 53% of you say keep the tush push out of South Dakota high school football. How about that? That's kind of close, though. That's kind of close. 53% of you keep it out. 47% of you give it a try. Speaking of high school sports, so here's something that just came out. I'm going to shift to this. This is something that only our world today, we have to think about this. So there's something we have to think about. What's impacting the performance of our high school athletes? What is a detriment to the performance of high school athletes? Article out today in USA Today. It's a big look, and the headline is, phones are tanking youth athletes. Phones are tanking youth athletes. So they went through this, and there's this academy called Mental Game Academy, and they look at all sorts of teens, high school athletes, their performance, how much they use their phones, what that does. Do phones and social media impact athletic performance? So this is something that I believe is a big problem, meaning I believe phones are a big problem for all of us, and I think phones are a big problem for teens, but I never really thought, let's see, you see all these kids at games, right? We got tournament games coming up in basketball. What are all the kids doing in the stands? What are the players doing is what I'm saying. When they aren't playing, they're getting ready to go. What are the players doing in the stands? They're sitting there scrolling on their phone all the time. Very rarely are they sitting there having conversations, maybe a little bit, but they're showing each other, hey, look what's on my phone. Look at this. So what this Mental Game Academy is saying in this big article in USA Today is it takes 22 minutes for you to go from your phone to focusing on a new task at hand. That's the That's like the technical side of this, according to Larissa Mills. She runs the Mental Game Academy. She's a psychologist, sociology, education degree. Okay, she's the smart person here. And she says it takes their brains that much time to refocus on the task at hand. So now you go from your phone right before a game to, are you ready to go? Can our brains automatically rewire to be ready to go? They say the brains cannot rewire. They think it's going to be a fun experience on their phone, and then they get into a social media rabbit hole, and an enjoyable experience turns into a negative one, and then that turns into the high school athletes suffer in games. That's the gist of the article. You can read it for yourself. I thought it was interesting. When I look at this, they say we focus on so much for the kids, the training, the work, the effort. You got to put in the hours. You got to do all this practicing, training, elite. They say, and then we just let them be 4, 6, 8 hours on their phones. And they say that's the undercurrent, that's the underreported side of this. Can phones actually impact athletes' performance? I mean, I don't know if you can absolutely say, Jimmy was on his phone before the state championship, and Jimmy only scored 4 points. He averages 16. I don't think you're ever going to really be able to prove that out because there's various factors in games and performance. But that's what this Mental Game Academy is saying. The phones are a huge factor, and parents and everybody don't get it, how much it impacts. We spend all the money and all the effort in the training and the personal training and the tournaments and the academies, and then they're engrossed in their phones, and we think it does nothing. Do you buy that it actually does something? I do buy that phones, and I'm looking at all this stuff too. I think phones mess you up. I think phones mess kids up, and I see it. I got youth players. They get their phones all the time. They got their phones all the time. Before games, after games. Does it impact an athlete's performance? Now, that's a pretty big question. I'm going to revisit that in our second question of the day tonight as we get started on the Nate Brown Show. Do you think that actually impacts athletic performance? Can a phone, just scrolling on whatever they're on, Instagram, they do the Snapchat, all of this stuff, see how hip I am? Just scrolling, and it impacts how I play in the game? That's what I'm wondering. That's what this article is pointing to in the USA Today. Phones are tanking youth athletes' mental game to where they're not ready to perform athletically. Very interesting. Do you believe it? 605-720-1067 is our number on the text line. Dom Izzo is going to get us going from Fargo, voice of the North Dakota State Bison and host of Hot Mic. We'll talk Summit League and North Dakota making a big change in high school basketball this year. That's up next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
Hurry into Menards and save big money on your bathroom refresh. Max has a great selection of showers, tubs, and surrounds. Max's U-Towel shower kits combine luxury with practicality. They have a sleek design and make installation simple. Save big money on Max showers. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Rush fans, it's time to pack the arena. February 26th, the battle begins at 7:05 p.m. as the Rush take on Idaho. February 28th, Friday night's game fun is fueled by Dark Canyon Coffee. The first 250 fans score a free Rush-branded coffee bag. March 1st, Military Appreciation Night. Active duty and retired military members can grab $16 tickets. Join us as we honor our heroes. Plus a hockey puck bottle opener giveaway to the first 800 fans presented by AARP. RapidCityRush.com.
Shop the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned at Denny Menno Rushmore Honda. Get financing as low as 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Civics, CRVs, HRVs, and Passports. 0.99. Plus, shop a lot full of used cars, trucks, and sport utilities, including a great selection of all-wheel drive and 4x4 trucks and SUVs. See us at Denny Menno Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Length of finance contract is limited with qualified credit. Expires 2/28/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 32 tonight, under mainly clear skies, winds out of the northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine again tomorrow, highs around 52. Lows dip down to about 31. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies. High of 61 Thursday, under mainly sunny skies. 56 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 47 degrees.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
May vary.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Let's get going on a Tuesday. Question of the day. Oh, man, we got people fired up today. Isn't this interesting? Don't stir up drama on a random Tuesday. No, we're trying to get down to the bottom of this. Do phones impact teams' athletic performance? I'm not saying our teams on phones too much. Yes. Do the phones impact their performance? There's an article out today that said phones are tanking youth games. Youth athletes. Phones are tanking youth athletes. They say they can't focus on the game because their phone use before the game or whatever, after the game. What about me? I got to focus on my phone during this show. Can I stay focused? I'm not an athlete, let me tell you. Dom Izzo's on tonight. He hosts Hot Mic. He's the voice of the Bison, North Dakota State play-by-play. WDAY. Find him on Twitter, Dom Izzo, WDAY. Dom, welcome back on. How are you?
I'm good, bud. How are you?
Doing great, man. Thanks for hopping in. I have a question here. It's a tough one. Do phones tank youth athletes' mental athletic performance?
Ooh, you mentioned I have my phone on as well during my show, so it's not negotiable. The bat phone's got to be on all the time. I have a 5-year-old son who's currently on his iPad as I talk to you on this show to moderately distract him a little bit. But it's fascinating. My wife is a high school English teacher, teaches 9th grade. She has the hardest job in the world because I remember what I was like as a freshman in high school. I wouldn't shut up because I picked the right profession. But it's a winding road to go down. I think, yes, there's way too much reliability on the phone these days. I mean, back in my day, I'm 45, but I remember we were outside for all hours. I did watch plenty of TV, though, Nate, growing up. I am not going to, so you could, maybe supplant the TV with the phone because my eyes were in front of that for probably way too long. So that's a really interesting sociological question there. I wish I had a better answer for it. It certainly would seem like it's trending in that direction with the premise you brought up.
Well, it's interesting. So there's an article out today that said phones are tanking youth athletes' mental game. And it said they're just not able to focus on the games and the whole thing. I got feedback. People say, "Oh, that's bull. That's bull." I mean, come on. You know what tanked my mental game back in the day? Madden football on Sega.
Yep.
That tanked my mental game. All right. Let me get to this. Speaking of high school sports, I want to get to the Summit League here later on as we talk NDSU, South Dakota State, and all. I want to ask you about this. So we cover high school sports a lot. We've had 3 basketball classes here for a long time. You guys had 2 in North Dakota, and it was a sense of pride there. Is when you made the state tournament with 2 classes, that was the real deal. Now you switched it to 3. Can you tell me how it's been received? Teams that have had to jump up to a Class A or a Double A per se. How has the 3-class system been perceived?
Well, I covered this nonstop on my show a couple years ago when it was going through all the High School Activity Association, and it had a couple different iterations of what the initial plan was to where we're at now. I would say overwhelmingly it went over well. And I'll say this, full disclosure, WDAY, we broadcast all the high school state tournaments, so we have the rights to that, and that was a massive change for us because we're adding 2 more tournaments and 2 more cities going on at the same time. But I think overwhelmingly, Nate, the response has been really positive, especially for the Class B. That's the smallest schools in North Dakota. And overwhelmingly, I heard from people on my show or the tournament that the right schools, quote-unquote, the right schools are here because we were trending in a way where Kindred, which is just south of Fargo, it's a bedroom community of Fargo, and it's touching West Fargo almost right now, which is crazy how much West Fargo has expanded to the south. But Kindred was playing a Class B, and they were hammering some of their opponents by 70, 80 points in regular season games. There's no fun in that. They moved up to this new middle tier, and they're still very good, but they're playing schools of equal size now to their competition level. The private schools is always a huge debate. I'm not sure how that goes in South Dakota, but there's a handful of private schools that are still in the Class B level that dominate because their population size isn't enough for them to move up. Most of the other private schools that were Class B, because they were based in Dickinson, in Bismarck, in Grand Forks, in Fargo, those are all big cities.
Yeah.
And Minot. So that was the whole basis of, I think, why the Class B schools were so upset about it. So most of them were kicked up to the Class A level, which I think has certainly eased a lot of the concerns. But I'm really fascinated to see. We're getting close here to, obviously, our tournament run to see the teams that make it to each of the state tournaments in Class A and Class B. But to answer, along with an answer to your question, I think it overwhelmingly went pretty well for year 1.
Okay, that's interesting because North Dakota, long tradition of just 2 classes. Yeah. And I had South Dakota sports fans say, we used to have 2 classes. That was when it was really good. It was really hard to make it. Do you think it was too hard to make it, essentially, for so many teams?
To that point, there were some schools that had no chance. If you were in a certain region, I could rubber stamp who's going to win that region in October before we even played a game of basketball. That's not fun. Some teams had no chance of making it. Now there's more hope for a team to get there with these teams being moved up because I wouldn't have to do much prep because I knew I called that team from last year. I'm going to see them again because they have everybody back. Of course, they're going to win their region and make the state tournament. So it has helped in competition. The goal was to get more kids to come out. I don't know how we are on that. I think we need some more information on that. There was some hope, and I think this was pie in the sky about reopening schools that closed and became co-ops. I don't think we're ever going back down that road. The population is just too different now than it was 20, 25 years ago. But I think competition-wise, we are seeing a better breadth of that, especially in the Class B level for schools that have a chance to compete to go to state.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I wanted to point that out. North Dakota goes to 3 classes for basketball this year, their first year, and Class B, A, and Double A. Dom Izzo's on NDSU, covers the Bison. Hot Mike is his show. Find him on Twitter at Dom Izzo, WDAY. All right, let's go to the Summit League here. So here's a big thing people may not know. Let's say St. Thomas wins the Summit League tournament on the men's side here. Yeah, they're in the mix, right? So let's say they win it in Sioux Falls next month. They can't go to the tournament. So then it goes to the regular season title holder. Is that right? How do you like that scenario?
I hate it, and this is all because I wrote a column on this a couple days ago, Nate, that the Summit League wanted the extra day of revenue. You'll remember they opened it up because forever it was just 8 teams that made it to the tournament, and then 3 years ago, I remember I got the email, and I got a heads up that they were going to let St. Thomas into the tournament. All 10 teams are going to be invited, so they added an extra day. So 4 extra games, 2 extra days, an extra day of revenue, more people to come in. And then promptly Western Illinois left the league, and we were down to 9. But the caveat is, and St. Thomas is in their 4th year of this transition, and this time next year won't be an issue because the NCAA relapsed on one of their years. They would be eligible this time next year. But your point is, if we get to Sunday night and St. Thomas is playing South Dakota State or St. Thomas is playing North Dakota State for the Summit League Championship, if the Tommies win that game, Omaha, who is likely going to win the regular season championship, would go.
Yeah.
Just imagine that scene, when Josh Fenton says, congratulations to St. Thomas, you'll cut the nets down, but yeah, the team that's not here, they're going to the tournament. It's happened in other leagues before. Fairleigh Dickinson did it a couple years ago. You remember they went and beat Purdue.
Yeah.
As a 16 seed, they didn't win their conference tournament. Merrimack beat them, but Merrimack was transitioning from Division II to Division I. So Fairleigh Dickinson was the second-place team. They go, and the rest is history. So,
what's the better answer, though?
Maybe it's not as big a thing as I'm making it out to be, but it was completely preventable because if we're going to have a conference tournament, why are we going to send a team to the NCAA tournament that's not eligible to go? That's the crux of why I wrote it, because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you think the second-place team on Sunday night should be the one?
You mean the team that makes it to the championship game? Yeah, see, then you got a team that gets red hot. Let's say Denver gets to Sioux Falls, they win 3 games. Are they the best representative of the league? No. So I don't fault. I like the second place team because they will have shown more consistency. If it's the Jackrabbits, if they're able to overtake St. Thomas, the tiebreakers really don't work out for the Jacks. But if that were to be the case, I would much rather see SDSU go than, say, Denver or Kansas City because they won 3 or 4 games of the conference tournament and got hot at the right time.
Dom Izzo on tonight. Couple more. I'll let him run. Listen to his show. It's Hot Mike with Dom Izzo. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. Really quick, there's a history here. Saul Phillips gets let go at Northern State out of Aberdeen. North Dakota State coach. Has over 300 wins in his career. 2 bad years at Northern. Is that it for coaches, Dom? You can't have 2 bad years anymore?
I don't think you can have 2 bad years at Northern. You know how big it is at Aberdeen. Basketball, men's basketball especially, is huge. And the first 4 years for Saul were great, but I was discussing that on my show this morning, and Saul's a victim of the portal. His best player, Jackson Money, is playing at North Dakota State now, and a handful of other guys left after last season. It's a nonstop on recruiting, and Aberdeen's a place that is so proud of its men's basketball program, from the late great Don Meyer and to Paul Sather to Saul. And Saul had 4 great years before that. He didn't forget how to coach. He just didn't have the talent this year. You can't survive winning 2 games, though. He wouldn't even argue about being let go. I am curious what's next for him because he loves to do it. I don't think he's out of the game. I would see him being an assistant somewhere. But to your larger point, I think in certain spots, Nate, you got to win, and where basketball is important, and men's basketball is really important at Aberdeen, as you know. And you can't have 2 losing seasons, especially if he was 10-14 or whatever, 10-17 this year. I think he would have gotten another year. But 2-26, that's grounds probably for being fired.
10 wins last year for Saul Phillips at Northern, then 2 wins just this year. Dom Izzo on tonight. So last one, how hard is it to recruit and maintain a program D2 to a North Dakota State to an SDSU? Eric Henderson lost 2 starters to Kansas and UCLA. Now the Jacks are right in the mix, but NDSU lost Grant to Alabama. So how hard is it to do that at those types of schools? Because people say, well, you got to recruit. Well, then you lose your best players.
Yeah, it's impossibly hard at this level because you're on a nightly basis. I'm watching, Zeke Mayo at Kansas or William Kyle at UCLA or Frankie Fiddler at Michigan State. They were all on the Summit League first team last year. Grant Nelson, you mentioned a couple years before, who had an unbelievable run at the Summit League tournament. Now he's playing at Alabama. This is why mid-major coaches, it's not an easy job for them. And I have no idea how you do it. It's a really hard job to keep going on.
And by the way,
I'm really curious to
how
see
do you evaluate
the players you keep going on that. That part is how do you're not going to get a guy like Grant Nelson to play 4 years. Can you give me 2? That's probably what the coaches are doing right now. Can you give me 2 years?
Yeah, I think it's just harder to evaluate coaches now because of that. How good a job are they really doing? And the transfer portal impacts that. Dom Izzo on tonight. He'll be covering the Bison. The Summit League is coming up. Regular season winding down. His show is Hot Mic. Find him on Twitter, Dom Izzo, WDAY. Hot Mic host and covers North Dakota State. Dom, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Bud, for the call. Be well.
Appreciate your time. Dom Izzo in tonight from Fargo. His show is Hot Mic. Dom Izzo, WDAY, and covers North Dakota State play-by-play. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Good stuff. Yeah, did you know that about the Summit League? A lot of people, that's kind of underreported here. You got the Summit League tournament, and St. Thomas is on this transition. They were D2. The transition, well, I should say skipped over D2, but D3, all this money, and jumping up to D1. So they have this transition where they're not postseason eligible for the NCAA tournament. So if St. Thomas wins the men's tournament, they don't get to go to the NCAA tournament. It reverts to the regular season champ in the Summit League, which looks like it's going to be Omaha. So, I don't know what you do about that. Dom said St. Thomas really shouldn't have been eligible for the Summit League tournament, but they're letting them play in it. They could win the thing. They can't take the NCAA tournament slot. That goes to the regular season champ. Very interesting deal in the Summit League this year. My question of the day tonight, there's an article out, USA Today said phones are tanking youth athletes' mental game and their athletic performance. Phones are tanking. If you're on your phone, if they're on their phone before the games, it impacts their performance. That's what this Mental Game Academy is saying. Do you believe that? Phones actually impact the performance of teens/high school athletes. Do you believe that? Listener text coming in. This study about phones affecting athletic performance is a bunch of crap. Listener text 605-720-1067. Coaches probably don't even allow their players on their cell phones beginning 30 minutes before a game. Well, 30 minutes, you should be getting dressed. You should be getting that. You think any kids are on their phones in the locker room? I do. Listener text. So you say they lose their focus in 20 minutes? Well, yeah, that's what this study says. 22 minutes it takes them to refocus from the phone now to the game. Listener text says, so it's going to take me 20 minutes to be able to respond to your question of the day? Oh, good one. Frank Schwab's next. Yahoo Sports NFL writer on the way.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The #1 hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February's snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today. And please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Andersen.
Right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com. We're talking with Britt Wickett at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Britt, one of the injuries we hear a lot about in sports, an ACL tear. You can't prevent all injuries, but good sports performance training could help.
Yeah, Nate, one of the things that a lot of good sports performance training focuses on is trying to not only prepare athletes for the field of sport, but also try to mitigate their risk to sustain an injury. Unfortunately, things happen in sport. If anybody ever does experience an ACL tear, that results in needing surgery to fix that, it's important to have a therapist on your side who can help them through prehab, rehab, and then return to sport. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a long time to get back to the field of sport, but it's not impossible to do it all by any means. So just having that end goal in mind can be really beneficial for the rehab process.
When it comes to ACLs and sports performance training and treatment, get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Tuesday edition, it's always a great day in South Dakota. Yes, motto of the show. Remember that, all right? We're popping today. Jerry Brewer's coming up, national sports writer, Washington Post. Question of the day tonight, what do you think of the tush push in South Dakota high school football? If you want to see it in the NFL, or if you want to be on the Packers side and they want to ban it, do you think you should have the tush push in South Dakota high school football? What a question for you tonight. 53% of you right now voting no tush push in South Dakota high school football. It's assisting the runner. We have rules against assisting the runner. I'm with you. But what do you say? 605-720-1067 on the text line. Frank Schwab's on tonight. National NFL writer, yahoosports.com. Frank, welcome back. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. So what do we were back to the tush push argument. I gave it a South Dakota spin tonight. We don't want to see it in high school football. At least half of my audience doesn't. What do you think the feeling's like with NFL fans?
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, Philadelphia Eagles fans are in favor of it, and everybody trying to stop the Eagles probably against it. That's usually how things go, right? Like, I think if you're unbiased over it, I really truly believe that you just say, well, yeah, it's kind of a quote-unquote automatic play for one team, not 32, but one, and it's a quote-unquote boring play. I don't know if there's a lot of excitement in it, but you know what? There's not a lot of excitement in a off-tackle run by Derrick Henry all the time, but you're going to ban it because he gets 5 yards every single time? Like, no, you can't do that. So I just, if this was a player safety issue, okay, that's fine. I think we all know it's not. It is NFL teams having sour grapes that they can't stop the Eagles running this play. And that's it. And I don't know that that's a good enough reason to ban it. And I think a lot of fans who think about it in that way are like, yeah, it shouldn't be banned. It might not be an exciting play. It might not be a play that anybody's been able to stop. But that doesn't make a good reason to ban it. So that's where I'm at with it. I think most fans would agree with that. But I'm sure there's some out there who just say, you know what, this play is kind of dumb. Let's get rid of it. And because, again, when anything is converted in the NFL at a 92% level or whatever the Eagles are at, I think that's about what they're at, it does get a little monotonous. And you just know, go back to the Super Bowl. The moment Jahan Dotson was ruled down at the 1 yard line when the score was 0-0, everybody in the Superdome and everybody watching at home knew, okay, well, this is going to take one shot for Jalen Hurts to get in the end zone. It's that easy for the Eagles now. They worked hard at it. Don't get me wrong. It's not. They make it look easy. It's not easy. They work at it. But so I think in that it's this anticlimactic play. But yeah, is that a good reason to ban it?
I do got to say, maybe it's just me, but I believe other teams are doing it better than they used to. Eagles the best. Yeah. I do see teams doing it, and I'm like, there's a lot of teams now doing this.
Yeah, and I think that there's teams that, but it's not automatic like it is for the Eagles. Look at the Bills in the AFC Championship game. I mean, it's still a play that takes technique. It takes a quarterback who can squat 600 pounds. It takes an offensive line that can get a push. There's a lot that goes along with it other than just, hey, have your tight end push your quarterback ahead, because it's not working for everybody. But you're right, yes, a lot of teams do execute this at a high level, but a lot of teams execute a simple quarterback sneak at a high level too. So I just, again, if this was a player safety issue, I'd feel differently about it, but I don't think it is. I think it's just sour grapes from teams that can't stop the Eagles.
Here's a reference. One more on this. So the Packers, they made the proposal to try and ban the tush push this year. We'll see what the owners say. Is this like banning the shift? Baseball said that was an unfair deal for the defense.
Interesting.
It took every offense away. This is an unfair advantage assisting the runner for the offense. Is it banning the shift in baseball?
It's a very good comparison because you're right. There's something to be said about, okay, you have figured out the game so well that, hey, congratulations, so you've done nothing wrong, but just for the optics of the game and the watchability of the game, we have to change this. And maybe that's a good argument for it, because I agree with that. Like the neutral zone trap in hockey, that just made the game kind of unwatchable. And the NHL went, you know what, it's not like this is illegal per se, but this isn't good for our sport, so let's get rid of it. So there's something to be said about that. It's like banning dunk in 1969 in college basketball because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was just killing everybody with it. So there is something to be said about that. That sometimes you just tip your cap and say you have figured out the game so well that we just have to put in a rule to stop this because it's making the games more unwatchable. So yeah, I've never thought of that comparison. It's a very good one, and if you're going to argue that tush push should be banned, just for the just for the optics of the game and just to make plays more exciting, I guess there is an argument to be made there.
Frank Schwab on tonight, national NFL writer at Yahoo Sports. Let's get through some headlines here. So I don't know if there's something to this or not, but some Denver media says Gronkowski's looking at a comeback and might want to go to the Broncos. I was like, huh? What do you say?
Random out of nowhere. I don't think so. I don't know. I can't tell you I have any inside information here. It just kind of came out of nowhere. Gronk, I don't know how old Gronk is. I remember, he was pretty young. It's just he seemed old because he was so great for for those years. I think he was, what would he be, about 34? So he's probably just in about Travis Kelce's range of age. He's had a lot of physical issues. So I don't know that he wants to do it. It just seems weird and out of nowhere. So I don't even know what to make of it. He came back once before. He took a year off and came back. So I guess it's not unprecedented, but I'd be pretty surprised if we see Rob Gronkowski playing football again.
I would as well. Rob Gronkowski, that was a report today out of Denver sports radio host. Speaking of tight ends, Travis Kelce, they expect is back. So this would be the last year of his contract. You think that's it for Kelce this next year?
I mean, I'd assume so. He's even getting to the age where, I mean, even last year he was at an age where you look and you say, no tight end has had any success at this age. Travis Kelce had a pretty good season, but he also had his career low in yards. His yards per catch went down to 8.5, I believe it was, which is, I believe, another career low for him. You could see he's near the end. Like, I think last season was a clear indicator. We could say all we want to because we don't want to criticize Travis Kelce and say, but in the playoffs he'll come up with the big plays and this and that. That's fine, but the fact of the matter is Travis Kelce is going to be 36-year-old tight end, and he's probably not going to be that great. So do I think he's going to be a great 37-year-old tight end? No, probably not. Like, it's the age, Father Time beats everybody. So I think that, if you can get one more good year out of Kelce, where he is a big part of that offense, especially in crucial situations, I think the Kansas City Chiefs would take that. They'd be happy with that, happy to have his leadership around, happy to just to have him around. I mean, he's a big part of what they've done in this dynasty, but at the same time, I didn't expect him to come back once. I mean, to be honest, I thought Super Bowl was it for him. Because, he has a lot of stuff going on off the field, his podcast, Taylor Swift, all this kind of stuff. He knows that he wasn't the same player last year. And maybe he could talk himself into, hey, I wasn't in the best of shape coming into training camp, I'll fix that. But I think in the back of his mind, he knows, like, this is near the end for me. So I think this is going to be his victory lap, his retirement, whatever. And then he'll, fade into the sunset after that to become a, big star in the media in the sphere. So, looking forward to one more year out of Travis Kelce, but no, I'd be shocked if he plays beyond that.
Frank Schwab, giving us some time. YahooSports.com. Bengals plan to make Jamar Chase the highest paid non-QB. So he's the next guy up. Were you surprised by that at all?
A little, just because it's the Bengals. They screwed this up. Like, this was, what were they thinking last year? And I remember even writing about this, that Mike Brown came out like September 1st or whatever it was, and he said, no way are we going to negotiate with Jamar Chase once the season starts. We don't do that around here. I was like, okay, man, it's cost yourself millions of dollars. That's cool. Like, it seems dumb business to me, but do you. And what happens? Jamar Chase goes out and wins a Triple Crown, and now it will cost the Bengals more than it would have had they just gotten a fair deal done last August, which they should have done, but it's the Bengals, and they screw this thing up. So, yeah, no shock at all that Jamar Chase is going to get his deal. I can't even imagine how Joe Burrow would react if Jamar Chase was just allowed to hit free agency. Like, that'd be ridiculous. So the Bengals almost had to do this. They had to pay Jamar Chase more than they would have months ago after the year he had. This is the penalty you pay for dragging your feet on signing deals. It never turns out well for the team. It always costs you more. Ask the Dallas Cowboys. They've been doing this for years, where they wait, and they end up paying 120% of what they would have had to the year before. So take some advice from the Eagles. Get your deals done early. It's always going to help you in the long run.
Frank Schwab in tonight. Great work, as always. YahooSports.com. Find him there, and on Twitter at Yahoo Schwab. Frank, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Frank Schwab on tonight, national NFL writer, YahooSports.com. Good to have Frank on Fox Sports Radio here on the Nate Brown Show tonight, YahooSports.com. Yeah, Bengals just said we're basically going to make Jamar Chase the top-paid non-QB now. The top-paid guy that's not a quarterback is Justin Jefferson right now. It's Justin Jefferson, $35 million a season for a wide receiver. Jamar Chase looks like he's going to get more than that now. Next guy up gets more money. Going to have to go over $35 million a season for a wide receiver. How about that? Think about that. Quarterbacks weren't even making that not so long ago. And now $35 million a season for Jamar Chase. Well, it's going to be more than that. He's going to pass Justin Jefferson. Into the second hour on the Nate Brown Show tonight. So Major League Baseball's had this problem getting their product out to the masses. Do you guys know this? Like, you maybe could watch the Twins, maybe not. There was blackouts, there was this and that. So the Twins have announced something. I mean, it's spring training right now, so the Twins have announced something. I'm wondering, what if the NFL did something like this? What would you think? Would you do this if the NFL offered it? We'll discuss next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Want to improve your putting? Master your chip shots? Golf Greens by Foreverlawn is the ultimate synthetic turf to improve your short game. For the committed golfer to the recreational player, we create custom golf greens to make your home or business the premier practice and entertainment destination. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Foreverlawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you shave strokes off your golf game. Foreverlawn in South Dakota.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank and Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 32 tonight, under mainly clear skies, winds out of the northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine again tomorrow, highs around 52. Lows dip down to about 31. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies. High of 61 Thursday, under mainly sunny skies. 56 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 47 degrees.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
The wait is over. We're clearing out our 2024 models at Spearfish GMC Cadillac. We've discounted all of our remaining 2024 models, but don't wait because stock is limited. New 2024 Sierra 1500 up to $9,300 off. 24 GMC Yukon as low as $71,927. Remaining 24 Sierra HDs up to $6,000 off. And 24 Cadillac Lyric EV up to $10,000 off. Spearfish GMC Cadillac, online always at spearfishmotors.com.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Hope you've had a great day. Thanks for making us part of your afternoon drive home. The Nate Brown Show streaming live on X right now at Nate Brown Show. So if you want to watch us on your phone, follow us on X at Nate Brown Show and watch us live. Welcome in studio. If you missed parts of the show, we had a great first hour here. Dom Izzo kicked us off. North Dakota State covers the Bison play-by-play man, Hot Mike host Dom Izzo, talking some high school hoops in Summit League. Frank Schwab moments ago, NFL writer, Yahoo Sports. More to come tonight. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast if you missed parts of the show. If you want to hear this segment, that guest, search The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. So a reminder there, if you miss us live, you can't spend all 2 hours of your afternoon drive. I mean, you got to do stuff. I get it. Okay, I got to hit on this really quick, and then I'm going to get to this next story so we kick off the second hour tonight. There's an interesting story out when it comes to Major League Baseball and, you know, their media partners and how accessible it's going to be and who's going to be watching and the whole thing. So I have to say, this is just out of left field today, but Cecil Lammey, he's a host in Denver. I listened to him. Cecil Lammey's a host on Denver Sports, and we get a lot of these guys on the show. Cecil Lammey says he's got sources inside the league at the Combine saying that Rob Gronkowski wants to come back to the NFL. And Cecil Lammey saying it has interest in the Broncos, has interest in being a tight end for the Broncos. Is this just a wild goose chase? Is this just one of those, whoops, Cecil, I don't know. I don't know Cecil. He's been an NFL guy for quite some time. So he's saying, the sources are saying Rob Gronkowski wants to come back to the NFL and could be the tight end for the Broncos. What should I say to that as a Broncos fan? What should I say to that? You know what I should say? I'm interested. Why not? I mean, Gronk in Denver? We haven't had a good tight end since Shannon Sharp. Let's be realistic here. I mean, come on. So, Rob Gronkowski, he's 35 years old. 35. So we're talking Travis Kelce-ish. But Rob's way better of an athlete than Travis. Way bigger, way better of an athlete. To me, Rob Gronkowski is better than Travis Kelce. Am I way off on that? Gronk, would you say Gronk's better than Travis Kelce, you guys? So, as a Broncos fan, I'm just throwing it out there. If Cecil Lammey's throwing it out, I'm going to throw it out that I'll give Gronk a run. If he wants to come back, let's do some research here. Let's get him a physical. We don't want him doing the wrestling stuff anymore. No more wrestling stuff, okay? But Gronk and with Bo Nix, I'll give that a run. That'll be interesting to me. Now, get another guy just in case, just in case Rob's not quite where we need him to be. Listener text coming in, a Gronk-Bo Nix combo. Listener text says, your Bo leaving chart will go through the roof. Let's just hang on that one. Let's just let that one simmer. I didn't think we'd get that one on a Tuesday. Gronkowski wants to come back to the NFL. Could go to the Broncos. Huh? I guess we'll wait and see. Let's get into the second hour with the Major League Baseball story that they've lost a big media partner. Why would Major League Baseball lose a huge media partner? Let's get into it next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
I got serious about staying fit just a couple of years ago. Now 5Ks, yoga, and smart nutrition are all part of my weekly routine. Part of my eating right plan? Country Hearth Breads. Natural breads with the whole grains and natural ingredients my body needs to perform at its best. Just a slice of toasted multigrain with peanut butter before a workout, and I'm ready to roll. Country Hearth is the easy choice because it's good for me and great tasting too. Country Hearth Breads, baking our best for you.
Hello there, I'm a snowman. The South Dakota Lottery hired me to promote their new 60 Days of Winter giveaway. I get most of you don't like winter, but I love it. And now you can too, because the South Dakota Lottery is putting the win in winter with 60 days of giveaways. Every week features new winners and prizes, including concert tickets, gift cards, and more. So enter daily at 60daysofwinter.com. Hurry before winter is over and this contest is gone, like me. Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner, and I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs, and Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Chatting here with Ryan from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. All I know is where we live, boy, it's hard on vehicles. That it is. We're here to take care of all your automotive needs. I know you're an ASE and AAA approved repair facility. Well, what's that all mean? It means we passed all the national requirements to be an authorized AAA automotive repair facility. Plus, our mechanics have passed thorough testing in all of the disciplines of auto repair to achieve their ASE certification. Impressive. So from oil changes to brakes and batteries, cooling, heating, or shocks and suspension, we're your answer. A one-stop shop. Absolutely. Plus, we carry over 50 brand name tires with deals as good as anywhere, and flat out the best brake deal around at just $399 per axle with new pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty for most vehicles. That's an incredible brake deal. You know, it really is. Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Well, welcome back in. Tuesday night on the program, the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. It is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. Glad you're a part of it. Thanks for making the show possible. We appreciate that. All of our listeners, all of our sponsors. You can join us tonight on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch, 3809 East 10th Street in Sioux Falls. Best buffet, also out in Brandon, and 2 locations in Rapid City. It is everyone's favorite buffet at your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. 605-720-1067, or you can text us on the text line. Same number, text the show, 605-720-1067. Second hour tonight featuring Jerry Brewer coming up, national sports columnist for the Washington Post. A big discussion with Jerry Brewer about, do people complain too much about the nostalgia of the NBA? Do people complain, we wish we had Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, instead of just looking at the current players, the great players that are there? Do we always compare them? Nobody is going to be Michael Jordan. It's an interesting discussion. I'm going to have it. Jerry Brewer coming up, Washington Post. He's covered the NBA a long time. Well, let's get into this here. So spring training's underway. You guys know that. Just talked to a buddy of mine. He's going down to Phoenix, watching the games, and going to enjoy the spring training going on. Here's a headline that comes out on Major League Baseball. They are going to have a breakup with ESPN. So we're talking about, this is what we used to love, Sunday Night Baseball. And I'm still thinking it has a little bit of juice. Sunday Night Baseball kind of has some juice, not like it used to. But that's like one of the staples. That was like the NBA on NBC. Sunday Night Baseball. You can hear the theme music, right? You know what I'm talking. It used to be the thing. Sunday night, not much happening. You get home from a fun weekend with the family and friends, and you got the Cubs-Cardinals on Sunday Night Football, right? Or Sunday Night Baseball. Oh, there was a little slip. see what's on my mind? You had them, right? That was kind of a big deal. ESPN and Major League Baseball have a rights agreement to continue Sunday Night Baseball and their coverage. They're going to break up early. This just being reported last night. They're going to break this thing up early, opting out of their current rights deal. Now, the reporting on this is saying that ESPN wanted more games. They actually said, hey, Rob Manfred, we'll put on some more games, more content, midweek broadcast, stuff like that. Wednesday night, maybe something like that. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred rejected that offer. And you're going to say, Rob Manfred's a doofus. Well, here's the thing. He's saying, you give us more money, we'll give you more games. So ESPN, they decided, well, no, we're not going to give you more money, but we do want to offer more games. Hey, let's see if we can tweak this deal a little bit. So what should you have done? As I look at this deal, I know Major League Baseball can't just wiggle and fall at the feet, but you got to say we need our product out there. I believe Major League Baseball needs their product out there. And not just with Apple and Roku, okay? I think they need their product out there. So if I'm Major League Baseball, you're getting $550 million a season. That's not much, as opposed to like ESPN's price tag with the NBA. But they got a lot more games. I mean, ESPN, ABC has a lot more games with the NBA. They're paying them $2.5 billion. So Major League Baseball is like, hang on, $550 million for us? You gave the NBA $2.5 billion just now. And you want more games? So it's a catch-22. But my point is, with Major League Baseball, I think Rob Manfred doesn't see the big picture. I would argue that about many things. I mean, I think Rob doesn't see the big picture. It's not going to be a $2.5 billion deal like the NBA got. You're not going to get that. So then you opt out of the deal early. ESPN opts out of the deal early. So now, after this season, we're talking this season right now, there is no national partner like Sunday Night Baseball or anything like that for Major League Baseball right now. Who's going to step in there? Our media company is going to be like, man, we're going to keep breaking the bank on this stuff. People say the NBA got lucky with the amount of money they just brought in from all their partners, NBC, ESPN. They said they just got lucky on that deal with the massive amount of payday. Is Major League Baseball in a spot where they could say, yeah, we'll opt out of this ESPN deal early. We need more money. Let's bag it. I'm not so sure on that. And then you got this other factor. There is something that I'm glad some of these teams are doing, and Major League Baseball's allowing it, like your Minnesota Twins. So you've seen this, right? The Twins, for people here in South Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota, they're going to offer, finally, locally distributed games on twins.tv. Finally. So if you were blacked out or anything like that, twins.tv is going to allow fans to watch all Twins regular season games. You would think this was an act of Congress to let Major League Baseball go through with this, to let teams do this. I don't know how this didn't happen a long time ago. So now for $20, $19.99 a month, you're going to be able to watch all Twins games locally distributed, live or on demand. No blackouts in South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, North Dakota. $19.99. It's just something I feel like Major League Baseball is always behind here. The organizations are, well, let's see, what can we do here? It's really easy. Yearly streaming subscription. Twins fans that are passionate like this, they'll pay the $19.99 a month and watch a ton of the games. They'll watch a ton of the games. You think the NFL would ever go down that road? That was going to be next question of the day for you tonight. Let's say you don't live, or let's say you're not a Vikings fan or a Broncos fan in South Dakota. What are the games you get here? You get Vikings, you get Broncos. Let's say you're Packers, Cowboys, whatever. What would you pay to get every single Cowboys games? I'm not talking Sunday ticket. See, the NFL saying, we'll just keep the Sunday ticket thing going. So we'll just do all games. That's it. But would they ever think about letting teams do their own thing? What about teams doing their own thing? Like the Twins just did for the Twins.tv, $19.99 a month. I don't think the NFL will ever allow that. They make too much money off that Sunday ticket piece. Listener text coming in. The NFL will fight to the death, not allowing a fan to just stream their favorite team. Good point. Listener text. The NFL is a billion-dollar business. They need to make their own broadcasts. I'm sick of needing 15 different subscriptions just to watch a game. And the area restrictions. Yeah, I get it. One more listener text, 605-720-1067 on the Nate Brown Show. The NFL knows that they're overcharging for the Sunday ticket, but they know there's only a few teams that have a loyal following, and those few teams rake in the money. They would rake in the money on the streaming rights. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm a Broncos guy, so I get all the games. So I'm good. But man, we even hear from fans, hey, how come I can't watch? I'd like to watch this team, that team, this team. Would the NFL ever let teams do their own streaming like Major League Baseball finally let the Twins do? I doubt it. Sunday ticket is the ticket. You're going to get a bunch of money for it. They're not going to let the Cowboys and the Packers just do their own thing. It's an interesting concept. They're not going to let it happen. Keep your eye on that. Major League Baseball done with ESPN after this season. They're out. They think they're going to get a lot more money from somebody else? We'll see. Jerry Brewer's on next, national sports writer for the Washington Post. The question is, does everybody complaining about the current NBA, are they only complaining because they compare everybody to Michael Jordan? Is that an unfair assessment? Jerry Brewer covers the league next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February's snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today. And please book your free estimate right now at RVARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Anderson.
Rapid City forecast. 32 tonight under mainly clear skies. Winds out of the northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine again tomorrow. Highs around 52. Lows dip down to about 31. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies. High of 61 Thursday under mainly sunny skies. 56 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 46.
Find your fortune and fall for big wins during the Love and Luck promotion at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight for prize drawings that grow bigger each hour. Then, don't miss the grand prize event on Saturday, March 29th, where 10 lucky winners will take home prizes ranging from $500 to $5,000. Let Love and Luck bring you big wins and even bigger thrills. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. One call to build.com.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show on X, streaming right now at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live there at Nate Brown Show. National sports writer, WashingtonPost.com. Jerry Brewer back on as we get the second hour going tonight. Jerry, welcome back on. How are you?
I'm great, man. Had a week off last week, so I'm refreshed.
I like that. I never get the memo on this. I see all the national media guys, they take the week off after the Super Bowl, and I never get the memo. So I'm going to remember that next week, or next year. I'm going to remember that, Jerry, so I'm going to join you, okay? I like that. Now you're back in and ready. I got to ask you something here. We're going to talk NBA and Channing Frye, former player, and what he talked about with today's NBA compared to yesteryear's NBA. But there's something here that I find interesting. ESPN paid $2.5 billion for the NBA. The $2.5 billion a year for the NBA. They get a bunch of games, ABC, ESPN. They just opted out of their Major League Baseball deal. ESPN and Major League Baseball severed the deal. This reporting last night. It was only $550 million a season. ESPN was paying Major League Baseball. They wanted more games, Jerry. ESPN did. Hey, we'll add some midweek games. Let's add some games. Rob Manfred says no. Do you think Rob Manfred makes the right call there for Major League Baseball? New national partner he's going to have to look for and expecting to get a lot of money, I would expect.
Yeah, unless Rob Manfred knows something that we don't know, which he might, that's an awfully risky proposition. You know, I mean, you lose a lot of relevance when you don't have ESPN as part of your package and you're one of the big four sports leagues in the U.S. So I don't quite understand that. I mean, I do as someone who enjoys following the entire baseball season, who's not a casual baseball fan, who's like really into it. I do have some issues with the way ESPN does baseball versus the way they used to. But I must also admit that it's just a response to the declining relevance and interest in the game. And this is a real test for Major League Baseball. They see all the money that everyone else is getting. They're trying to drive their revenue higher. But if you're just trying to do a cash grab and you put them behind a streaming wall or something like that to get the money that you want, that's not going to like help the next generation be more interested in baseball than the last generation. And so the decline will only continue. You may get your money, but my concern is that the decline will continue.
Okay, why do you think Major League Baseball is not going to get, I mean, they're not going to get NBA money. Is it because the game has changed, meaning people, the way they watch it? I'm trying to figure out here. I mean, I know there's a lot of competing factors why Major League Baseball can't get the big money like an NBA. We're not talking NFL, but an NBA.
Yeah, I think just like there's a news fatigue, right? Like, and we experience or just a media fatigue, that we experience, whether it's in television, radio, or newspaper, print, websites. I think there is like this emerging issue of a sports fatigue that like we can watch whatever we want, whenever we want, all the time, and so like it's not as special as it used to be. ESPN was trying to play we're ESPN and we can give you more coverage, but we don't even want to pay what we were paying on the last package, right? Because they're like, we had to go all in on the NFL. They probably overextended themselves a little more than they should have on the NBA.
Yeah.
And then you add in the enhancements that they're doing with women's college basketball and some other sports as well. I think they're playing the bet of like, you guys don't even know that like you're not as hot as you used to be.
Yeah.
And the fact that we got hockey back, like we're good. And I'm interested to see how all that plays out. Like, I mean, it's a pretty dead summer in ESPN when you have no Sunday night baseball and no like, weeknights, weekend baseball games. I'm really interested to see what it's going to be like for that network and how they're going to cover baseball because you know how ESPN is. I mean, they do it with the Olympics now. Like, if they're not part of it, they almost act like it doesn't exist. And I think there are some compelling things. And last year was a great baseball season and a great postseason that ended up with a marquee matchup that everybody was interested in. So I'm interested in seeing how it plays out for ESPN, knowing that they're going to have this dead period in the summer. Like, does that mean that they're really going to boost Caitlin Clark in the WNBA or what? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it from that standpoint. And then just from baseball, I'm interested in it from the standpoint of we need some kind of, like, traditional linear programming that's robust, that, like, a lot of people can find it so that you can continue to sell the game without people having to overextend themselves on streaming.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. By the way, there's reporting on it. Major League Baseball's been in discussions with NBC, potentially, Amazon, Netflix. We'll see where that goes. Last year will be of baseball on ESPN. For now, it's this year, this season. They're going to opt out early. Jerry Brewer on tonight, national sports writer, WashingtonPost.com. Let's go to the NBA. This is why I wanted you on. So Channing Frye says basically it's Shaq and Charles Barkley and everybody complaining, all of these old guys complaining about today's NBA. That's what's killing people's perspective of the NBA. It's comparing everybody to Michael Jordan. It's essentially what he's saying. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting take from like somebody in his generation, which is what I guess just one generation younger than me, or pretty much the same generation. Just that nostalgia is killing the interest. I think that there's like a generational ignorance, Nate, that kills the conversation in basketball, and that's from like the old heads who want to act like the game was like, and Channing was talking about the 90s, but I really think the people who are the biggest snobs are people who lived through the 80s, which I still think is just the best era of basketball, and it'll never be replicated. And it like built everything that the foundation on which they've grown is the 80s. So there's that ignorance from the old heads who just don't want to embrace anything new, and then there's this ignorance and this recency bias that the new school has. And we're in this weird cycle, and I don't want to blame it just all on young kids because I think we get involved in it as well. We can't watch any sporting event and see something good without talking about is this the greatest thing ever? Is Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback I've ever seen? Is this the greatest game there ever was? Is Shohei Ohtani the greatest baseball player we've had? Greatest. And it's like, baseball's been around. Baseball's around in the corner, heading towards, they're staring at 200 years, several decades down the road. The NBA is staring at 80 seasons next season, and we've had 59 Super Bowls, and on and on and on. Like the history of these sports, though not as vast as Major League Baseball, the history of all of these sports is getting so significant that most of us weren't alive for like some really good stuff, and we can't just discount it, and we can't just pretend like the thing that we saw in sort of like our prime years is the best thing that we've ever seen. I think that there's a big basketball fan, and it's kind of weird, man, that like just saying like I love basketball for what it is and I love this generation for what it is almost like this like revolutionary thing to say now because nobody wants to say it, right? But I love some things about today's game. There's other things that concern me, but I think you can go back to the 90s and you could see concerns there that Michael Jordan and the interest in the Bulls were masking, and there were some things in the 80s that weren't perfect, and there definitely were some things in the 60s and 70s that kind of led to like the NBA not really resonating with more people. The NBA is in a cycle. No one can deny that there is certain things that are happening within the league that is starting to turn people off. And most of it is around superstar culture and the way that these guys act and the fact that they don't take everything seriously. They take certain things for granted, like competing in the All-Star game, et cetera, et cetera.
Load management,
basketball,
right?
Load management, yes. And so, like, we're looking at him and we're saying, you're going to pretty soon, like, Dallas didn't want to pay Luka $70 million a year, right? Like it was going to be a 5-year, $350 million contract. That's one of the reasons why they traded him. They didn't want to give him that extension. So we're almost in the days where, we're already in the days where Jaylen Brown, a good player, but not one of the top 10 players on a consistent basis in the NBA, and barely one of the top 20 players on a consistent basis, is making $300 million in a contract. And we're facing the days when guys are going to be making $70 million per season, almost $1 million per game. And so you're going to be scrutinized more heavily.
Yeah.
And I do think that there is a certain privilege that these guys have that they refuse to acknowledge. I think the way that they play, it's just basketball, and like everything gets stale, and I'm kind of waiting for a new style, a new way to attack the game. That's going to happen. Like every 15 to 20 years, you need a refresh, and we've kind of been in this mode for quite a while, so it's coming. I'm not as concerned with that, but I am concerned with just the fact that people, they're not, like the average fan is not able to relate to some of these superstars and the way they act. And I'm willing to give them a lot of grace, but I also want to tell them, y'all got to stop being babies. Stop, asking Channing Frye to do the work for you because you're whining that, like, people don't love you and they don't kiss your feet on everything that you do.
That's
just the bottom line.
The biggest argument I hear on this show a lot, and I think it's legit, I do, because I watch the NBA more than a lot of my listeners. I have kids that like watching hoops, and we go to NBA games, and we like it. But the concern is the load management. That's a cover-up for they don't play the games. And I don't know who's to blame there. Is it the athlete, or is it the organizations that did say, well, we don't want to run you into the ground. We want to be smart with our analytics here. We're not going to play you. So who's really to blame there on this not playing anymore?
Yeah, there is a paralysis of analysis factoring in. Like, they know more. They can measure more. You know, that they can put a device on you during practice and can kind of, measure how much gas you have in the tank, biometrically and all these things. And so, I think that there is, like, back in the day, people didn't know, and they were just kind of fighting, and they made good money, but they didn't make ridiculous money, and they were just trying to play. And I think most players want to play, but I think these organizations are like, man, I got a $50 million a year asset here. Like, we need to, like, be careful.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, when you don't let Secretariat run, Secretariat isn't as fast as a Secretariat can be. And I think you see that in the breakdown, throughout sports. I think one of the reasons that pitchers don't break down all the time and then can't throw 250 innings anymore and throw deep in the games is because, you tell them just to throw their hard stuff and you baby them, and you don't tell them, like, hey, come hell or high water, you need to get me into the 7th inning, if not the 8th or the 9th.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing with players to a certain degree. Oh man, your back is hurting. Let's sit you out for a week. And I'm not sure that any of this load management is actually extending guys' careers, like, to the degree that some of these teams think. I think in certain guys, Kawhi Leonard being chief among them, it has created this apprehension. Like, I know what's going on so much, and they're so cautious. Anytime I don't feel right, like, I don't want to play. And that's the worst thing you can get, man, because that's like the fundamental thing in sports that we start to forget is, a lot of it is parents taking their kids to games so that they can watch their heroes. And, your hero, let's say you're going to a Minnesota Timberwolves game, they're in the Western Conference. If they're playing the Boston Celtics, or let's just say the Sixers come to town once, right? They come to town one time a year, and if Joel Embiid is your favorite player and, he's aching, but he's not injured, he's just hurting, and he doesn't play, that's just like a core opportunity lost. And I think the greats never forgot that, man. Like, Jordan, he knew, like, hey, man, you're giving your money. Like, I'm going to give you your money's worth. Like, LeBron, to his credit, as much as LeBron can play, he's trying to give people their money's worth. I think Steph misses a lot of games, but he doesn't miss games just to sit out, right? Like, he wants to give fans their money's worth. And you just worry that, like, this new generation, like, do they get this, or have their teams created a culture where it's okay? And the solution to this isn't just you got to play 65 games to make the All-NBA team. You got to play 65 games to be eligible for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year and other awards. They're already making ridiculous money anyway. So that extra incentive is like kind of like, I'd love to have it, but if I don't, I'm still making $40 million a year. There's got to be guys got to have like a bit of a come to Jesus and realize, like, when you lose that equity with your fan base, like, that's a real problem.
Right.
And there are a lot of us, like, on the inside who can get, like, really close to this and can explain things in a super nuanced way that is super fair to those guys. But if you're just sitting at the bar talking to somebody, they don't want to hear it.
No.
They just want to know why that dude is not playing when they spent $100, if not more, for those tickets.
By the way, though, and here's part of the draw. Caitlin Clark, she played. She played all the time. She didn't. I mean,
she played every game.
Yeah,
coming off of a college season and having no break.
That's part of the draw, I'm telling you. I mean, and I know she's a rookie and it's not 82 games, whatever, but she didn't take a break and the whole thing. But hockey players, they play, yet there's not a ton of, ratings for hockey. And so you're kind of like, well, what is the real story? But I know the story. People are comparing everybody to Jordan and the guys. Jordan played every game for 30. He didn't take a game off for almost 3 years. For almost 3 years. Didn't miss a game. And people remember that. Great breakdown tonight. It's interesting. Channing Frye said people complaining about, the old guys, the new guys and compared to the old guys. That's what's killing it. The nostalgia. It's killing today's NBA. It's a long, drawn-out deal, I'll tell you. Jerry Brewer on tonight. Find his work, WashingtonPost.com, national sports writer. Jerry, I always appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Oh, anytime, man. Take it easy.
Appreciate your time. Great insight. Love talking to him. Jerry Brewer, national sports writer for the Washington Post, covered the NBA and the biggest leagues for a long time. Very interesting from Jerry tonight. Great breakdown. I just let him go. I said, Jerry, you're smart, man. I'll just let you go. Listener text here. LeBron, Tom Brady, Derek Jeter. Nobody will acknowledge the greatest athletes in the sport the greatest athletes in the sport could be in diapers at the moment. Time doesn't stop. Yeah. Hey, by the way, you just said LeBron's the greatest. You just said LeBron's the greatest. Did you want to go there with me tonight? You really want to go there with me? See, look what you've done. LeBron's not the greatest. LeBron's great. Not the greatest. I don't have enough time for that. Quick timeout. Chad Costello coming up. He's the Rapid City Rush associate coach. The Rush on a roll. Are they back in this? He's next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Bringing Music City to you. Get ready for Nashville Night on March 22nd at the Box Elder Event Center. The concert kicks off at 7 p.m. with the talented Jessica Luby, followed by the high-energy Velvet Rodeo. Put on your boots and get ready to dance. Plus, test your skills on the mechanical bull.
Hold on tight, honey. You got it.
And enjoy Nashville hot chicken sandwiches.
Yeehaw!
Tickets are just $20 in advance or $25 at the door. Get your tickets now at thebox.live. Don't miss out on the country event of the year.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at baronswilson.com.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show on a Tuesday night. Thanks for being a part of the show. If you missed parts of this show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every guest, every segment, we don't repeat guests. Yes, other shows, they record stuff, they play back, then they go eat lunch. We're live, man, so we don't repeat guests and segments. We try and put that in the podcast. So if you want to hear high school or college or NFL, whatever you're looking for, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. We try and do new stuff, fresh content each time out with each segment. So find every show on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show, and then you can download each show. Going Rapid City Rush right now. They're back at home tomorrow. Idaho coming in. Are the Rush back in this thing? Boy, I'll tell you, it's a long season. Rough start. This has been a time of change here. Scott Burt and his health, and Chad Costello stepping in, Rapid City Rush associate coach. They've won 9 straight. That's an ECHL record for them as an organization. Coach Costello's on tonight. Coach, good to have you back. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, you nailed it. 9 in a row. Pretty exciting stuff.
I like it. I mean, the fans love it. Back at home, you're trying to get this thing cranked up here. So I asked this question. I said, are the Rush back in this thing? What's your answer?
Absolutely. We got Idaho is right ahead of us. We got them 3 straight here at home. So that's 6 massive points. They've actually played 1 extra game than us, and then Tahoe we have after that. We go to Lake Tahoe, and we play them 3 straight, and that's one of the 4 teams that we can catch. So there's another 6 points there, and they've played 3 more games than us. So it's doable. We definitely have our work cut out for us, but what a great job by these guys to even have a chance right now. So it makes the season a lot more fun chasing something. So yeah,
you've been a part of the league. You've been a part of hockey. What are you noticing in this stretch?
We're getting contributions from everybody. Our top players, Blake Bennett, he's came in and just lit it up right away. Wagner, that first line is really, really potent right now. They're scoring on almost every chance. But from top to bottom, we're getting contributions from everybody, and they're will to win. Sometimes it's a 5-1 win, and other times it's a late heroic. So we're finding ways to win. Where earlier I thought we were finding ways to lose, and everybody's bought in. So it's been really exciting and fun to go to the rink for sure.
Chad Costello on tonight, Rapid City Rush associate coach. I want to get back to this win streak, and you guys trying to keep this rolling against Idaho tomorrow as you're back at home. Scott Burt back with the organization. People are wondering, hey, how's Scott doing? What's that been like last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's been exciting. The American League and the NHL, they have 3, 4, 5 coaches, so it's something that we are getting used to as an organization for sure. Having with Peter being assistant, me associate, and Bertie the head coach, he's done a lot of GM stuff, which has been exciting to see him work. And we got a few college kids that we got today that may be joining us here in a week or so because college season's over. But Bertie's health, he got on the ice. I think the first day was today, not with the players, but by himself. So he's kind of on a program where we think maybe in about a week or so he may be, Bertie, a week, maybe a few days for him. So we'll see how he does. But it's been exciting to work with him, and it's going to be exciting to get him back on the bench.
Rapid City Rush at home. Idaho comes in. This is a showdown this week, so Rush Nation needs to show up. Starts tomorrow at the Ice Arena. Blake Bennett, you just mentioned him, got a hat trick last game against Utah. He was named the ECHL Player of the Week. What do you notice about him being special?
Yeah, he's super talented. He's got a knack for the net. He's not the biggest guy, but he goes to the net hard. He's got a really, really nice release. He's got an NHL shot, and he loves to score goals. His passion to score is probably the highest I've ever seen. I coached the MVP and Alan, and they remind me of each other. They just want to score more than everybody else on the ice, and it's super fun to coach him and super fun to watch him play. He's a great talent, and him and Wagner got a connection going that sparked right away. So it's been a joy to watch him. He's been kind of a game changer for us.
Okay, how did you kind of keep these guys together? I said this has been a long season. Hockey seasons are long anyway, Coach. And then you throw in Birch challenges, and you're new. How did you keep these guys together? There was a rough stretch here. This wasn't an easy road. What's been your path here?
Yeah, I thought we've been playing good hockey for a long time, just not getting rewarded. So I tried to, it wasn't easy, but I tried to let them know that if we continue to play and stay on this process, we will win hockey games. And getting and improving just a little bit, and bang, the guys did it, and super proud to be a part of it.
Chad Costello, Rapid City Rush associate coach. Let's get a breakdown here. You know Idaho. They know you. They've been at the top here. This is a tough series coming up. What do you need to bring? How is your team maybe different than previous games?
Yeah, I like our team speed. They have the experience for sure. And both teams know exactly what the other ones are going to do. This reminds me of a playoff series, to be honest with you. And we know exactly every single player they have. They know every single player we have. We've played them 9 times, so they know our game plan. We know their game plan, and it's just going to be toe-to-toe. And no one's hiding anything, no trick plays. It's just going to be toe-to-toe, an old school battle that I can't wait to get started on Wednesday.
I'll tell you, Blake Bennett, what a week. 4 goals, 6 points. ECHL Player of the Week. It's the Rush, and they're at home against Idaho starting tomorrow. They've won 9 straight. That's a team ECHL record. Associate Coach Chad Costello on tonight on the Nate Brown Show. Coach, good luck this week. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, like always.
Appreciate your time. Chad Costello on tonight. He's the Rapid City Rush Associate Coach, doing a heck of a job. Stepping into a deal. I mean, you got to just, start, hit the ground running. And, boy, he's turned it around. Rush on a roll. 9 straight. 9 straight for the Rush. And they'll play Idaho in the first game tomorrow night at the Ice Arena. Rapid City Rush review on the Nate Brown Show tonight. We come back with who's hot and who's not. Is there another college basketball betting scandal? There's a story out. We'll get into it. Hang on.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Home really is the place to be. Landscapes by Forever Lawn can give your home the lush, natural grass appearance you expect without the work. Our premium materials and construction create a low-maintenance experience of transformational beauty and exceptional wear performance, allowing you time to enjoy your family and friends. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you make one of the best upgrades you can add to your home sweet home. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
It's time to get a great deal on a pre-owned 4x4 truck or sport utility from Danny Manholt Toyota. Shop a great selection of 4x4s and all-wheel drives, plus the area's best selection of used Toyotas and Toyota certified pre-owned. Get financing as low as 5.49% APR for up to 60 months on select certified pre-owned. Over 35 certified available. See us at Denny Manholt Toyota or DennyManholtToyota.com. 1910 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down, with qualified credit, expires 3/3/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 32 tonight, under mainly clear skies, winds out of the northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine again tomorrow, highs around 52. Lows dip down to about 31 tomorrow night, mainly clear skies. High of 61 Thursday under mainly sunny skies. 56 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 46.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be, on the sidelines supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, let's do this on a Tuesday night. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet, your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. The buffet open until 8 tonight. Who's hot category? We got to say congratulations here. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan, but Diana Taurasi, one of the all-time greats, she is the all-time leading scorer in WNBA history. Diana Taurasi announcing today she is retiring from the WNBA. So Diana Taurasi, one of the all-timers, UConn great. When you think women's basketball, she's way up there, way up there. Congrats, Diana Taurasi, retiring today from the WNBA. Great career. And now on to the next chapter with Caitlin Clark, the new face of women's sports. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not tonight, investigation going on to Fresno State men's basketball. 2 players believed to be connected to illegal gambling activity on the team scratched from their game over the weekend, reportedly placing bets on their team's points and rebounds. Whoops. We'll see where that goes. Fresno State men's basketball. Keep an eye on that story and investigation. Thanks for listening to The Nate Brown Show. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now. We'll see you back here tomorrow.